back in studio. A regular guest, Colin Amos from the law offices of Goldberg and Jones, Divorce for Men. Colin, a long time no see. It's great to see your face. Happy New Year.
Yeah, it is a good New Year. Good to have made it through.
All right, good stuff. So Goldberg and Jones, Divorce for Men. And, of course, I always tell people this, 1-800-DIVORCE is a telephone number. If you're facing a custody battle or a divorce, they can call that number, 1-800-DIVORCE. You'll answer the phone. You will talk to them, and you'll be able to point them in the right direction. You give a free consultation. That's the best place for people to start who need information.
Yeah, I answer questions over the phone at no charge, and it is a good starting point. There's a lot of people who have just basic questions. There's no strings attached. I'll answer the questions, and if you need a consultation, we charge $95 for that. But it's a good starting point to at least make the phone call. All
right, as Colin and I have our conversation here, if you want to jump in, if you got a question for Colin, if you're facing a custody or a custody battle or a possible divorce, 503-417-7575. Now, Colin, these are questions that came into your website at goldbergjones.com. The first one's out of Portland. It says, I wanted to get through the holidays before pursuing a divorce. I am finally ready. I have been married 14 years, have a 12 and a 9-year-old, and my wife doesn't work. We haven't been getting along, but she doesn't want to get divorced. Can I still pursue a divorce if she doesn't want one? What should I do first?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that question. They feel it has to be mutual, and the answer is absolutely not. If you want to pursue a divorce, you can file a divorce proceeding. She cannot contest or he cannot contest a divorce. They can only contest what the terms of the divorce would be. And, I quite frankly, not to be self-serving, I would definitely call an attorney. Get some information. If it's a life-changing event, there's nothing in your life that goes through a blender more than what's going to happen to the future of your kids. Your financial resources are going to be put on the line, future ongoing support obligations, child support, spousal support. And here it always makes me nervous for people because, he's talking 14-year marriage. He got 2 kids. His wife doesn't work, so there's potential spousal support, alimony obligations here. There's custody and visitation. People tend to separate without filing divorce, and that can set negative precedents with regard to the custody and visitation. So definitely, slow it down, talk with an attorney. It doesn't mean you have to hire an attorney, but at least have a consultation. Make sure you know how this works. Don't try to reinvent a wheel, and get a plan, and then go from there.
All right, our next question is out of Hillsborough. It says, my kids came to live with me at the start of the school year because they wanted to change schools from the Portland area to Hillsborough. We never changed the court orders, and I have not asked for any child support. My ex is now telling me that the kids need to move back in with her by the end of the month. They are doing fine in school and don't want to move. What are my rights since she has sole legal custody?
Yeah, these are good situations, although, you don't want to wait too long because these kids moved in at the beginning of the school year. There's been a significant precedent that's been set with regard to this father having custody. The court is worried about reality, not just what the court orders say. But, yeah, she does have sole legal custody per the court orders. He needs to file a modification. 2 things. 1, he can file right away, and because they've been in a routine, get a post-judgment status quo. And that means let's keep him in that same routine before we make any changes, just to make sure if we are going to go back to mom, which is unlikely here, that we don't do that right away and yank him out of school. But one thing that's a hidden issue here, and guys do this all the time because they switch custody, he has extreme exposure to back support because the court orders were never changed. Wow. Yet it says, hey, he may be ordered to pay $600 a month. They may have agreed for him not to pay it, but it's still a court order that keeps on racking up with interest. So we need to address that. We need to fix the court orders. We need to modify, get him custody, which will happen because we've set a precedent. She doesn't get to raise her hand and said it's my turn again and yank the kids back out of school. And then we got to fix this child support issue.
All right. If you want to get a hold of Colin, 1-800-DIVORCE, the law offices of Goldberg and Jones. Our next question out of Scappoose. It says, I've been divorced for 2 years. We did the paperwork ourselves, and the visitation schedule says, as the parties agree. My ex consistently changes my time with the kids, denies me time even though we agree, doesn't help with commuting from Portland to Scappoose, etc. She says since she has custody, she could tell me when and where I see my kids. Can this be fixed?
has to be fixed. The biggest losers here are the kids. They're caught in the middle. They want to see their father.
And we've talked about this before. The courts are there to support that. They want kids to have time with both parents.
Absolutely. I mean, it's important. But when you don't have a good detailed parenting plan, and when people do it themselves, their goal in a divorce proceeding is to get divorced. Oddly enough, as a good divorce attorney, your goal is not to get people divorced. Your goal is to make sure when they're divorced and that judge signs that order, you can live with it. Your kids can live with it. It's fair and equitable. And here, it's not difficult to fix all these problems. We just need to file a modification, fix all the holidays, really detail it out, the weekends, the transportation usually is shared, the vacation in the summer, and all of that can be lined out with really little expense due to the fact she can't really contest that we need to put all this detail in there. It's when you go for a switch of custody, then we might get a battle. But here, all this can be fixed, the headaches can be gone, and the kids can get back to a routine and structure that's good for them.
All right, great stuff. Colin Amos, the law offices of Goldberg and Jones. If you want to get in contact with Colin for a no-obligation consultation, 1-800-DIVORCE is the telephone number. Now, I like this here. Something that's in the news I want to ask you about. As many know, Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries have been going through a divorce process that has long exceeded their actual marriage. They have also been separated, and Kim is now pregnant with Kanye's child. Why is Kris Humphries the legal father here? What's up with that?
Now, a lot of people can relate to this because people separate these days. They don't get a divorce. They have other relationships, and people get pregnant. And in Oregon, now different states have different rules on this, but certainly in Oregon, Kris Humphries is the father. Now, he may not biologically be, and I'm guessing by all the, announcements and Facebooks and Twitters and that he's not. But Kanye West has no legal right to this child until they get divorced. And you can imagine how many times it just comes up in real life. And so until they finalize this divorce and the way they put themselves out there in the news and naming the child, I understand, obviously they're going to come to some kind of settlement because she needs to get divorced from Kris Humphries before Kanye can have access to that child as far as legal.
I think the more appropriate question would be why does anyone care what the heck Kim Kardashian is doing, right?
That is part of this question, it is funny, and I don't know what the allure is other than the physical aspects, but not enough to keep this much publicity going. I don't get it.
Crazy stuff. We'll catch up soon. Thanks for your time.
It was great. Thank you.
If you need to get in touch with Colin Amos, the law offices of Goldberg and Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE.